Be exalted, O Lord, our God. Be exalted, O Lord, our God. Oh yes, you reign. Lift you up. Be exalted, O Lord, our God. Be exalted, O Lord, our God. Oh yes, you reign. Be exalted, O Lord, our God. Be exalted, O Lord, our God. Oh yes, you reign. We lift you up. We lift you
Mighty Savior, faithful Jesus. Mighty, you never fail. Savior, your love endures. Faithful, you never change. Jesus, I live forever. Mighty, you never fail. Savior, your love endures. Faithful, you never change. Jesus, I live forever. We lift you up. Be exalted, O Lord, our God. Be exalted, O Lord, our God. Oh yes, you reign. Be exalted, O Lord, our God. Be exalted, O Lord, our God. Oh yes, you reign. Lift you up. When I think upon your goodness and your faithfulness each day, I'm convinced it's not because I am worthy to receive the kind of love that you give, but I'm grateful for your mercy. And I'm grateful for your grace. And because of how you poured out yourself, I have come to sing this song out in praise.
name is Given David, and this is my brother Gershon, and we have a memory verse. John chapter 6, verse 35, it says, Then Jesus declared, I am the bread of life. Whoever comes to me will never go hungry, and whoever believes in me will never be thirsty. Thank you.
Praise God again. My name is Oxan Bati Rongomang, and I have a memory verse. John 6 verse 35, it says, I'm the bread of life. Jesus told them, those who come to me will never be hungry, and those who believe in me will never be thirsty. Thank you, may God bless you.
Praise God. Praise God. Praise God. How are you all? My name is Teacher Sam, and I'll be teaching you today. How has your week been? Has it been good? Do you remember what you were taught last time? Who was the teacher last time? Teacher Irene, correct. And what did she teach? Oh, yes, that God fulfills his promises. And what did God promise us in the last lesson? That he will never destroy the earth with floods again. Yes. So today, I'll be teaching you on Jesus feeds the 5,000 men. The scripture for today comes from the book of Luke, chapter 9, verse 10 to 17. Jesus and his disciples were in a place called Bethsaida. Remember the name? Bethsaida. And they had many people who were following them. And then it was rather late and dark, and they wanted to go and get food and drink. But the disciples told Jesus, Hi, Jesus, we don't have any money to buy food for all these people. Kindly send them away to the villages so that they can go and get food for themselves. But Jesus said, No, I want you to look for the food that we have here and bring it to me, and I'll see what I can do. So the disciples started searching. They're searching for the food, and they were able to find 5 loaves of bread like these ones. And what else? 2 fish. Yes, they were able to get 2 fish as well. So they brought them to Jesus. So Jesus said, I'll pray for this food and it will be enough for all 5,000 people. Do you know how many 5,000 people are? 1, 2, 3, 10, 100, 1,000, 5,000. That's a lot of people. They can fill our whole church and our houses and everywhere. So Jesus decided to take the bread and he decided to divide them one by one. He put them inside the basket. And then he lifted it up to pray. And when he finished praying, the bread had multiplied, and it was enough to feed all the 5,000 people. And the people were surprised. Look, that is a miracle of God. But Jesus had not even finished. He also decided to multiply the fishes as well. So he had 2 fish, and he decided to lift them up and pray as well. And when he had finished praying, the fish had also multiplied. And there were many fishes, all of this, which were enough to feed all 5,000 people. And the people were surprised and said, This must be the Son of God. Wow. So after all the food was multiplied and the people were amazed, Jesus decided to split them into groups of 50, 50, and 100. Some were 100, a group of 100 and another group of 50. And the disciples took the fish and the bread and distributed to all of them like this. chukua. And they also take the fish, chukua. So, after all the food was distributed, the people enjoyed the food. They ate the bread and the fish. And do you remember how many fish there were? Do you remember how many loaves of bread there were? I'll ask you at the end. So, after they had all eaten, they were finally full, and they decided to finish up with what they were doing. Now all the people had eaten the food, and they were fully satisfied. So Jesus asked, is there any food that has remained? Then the disciples decided to come and bring the food that had remained. A full basket? Kwani hawakumaliza? Okay. A second basket? Three baskets. 4 baskets. Watu walikuwa 5,000. 5 baskets. 6. 7 baskets. 7 baskets. 8 baskets. 8 baskets. Hata sisemi kitu sasa. 9. 10 baskets. What did they do this miracle? 10 baskets, imagine. Hii yote imebaki 10. 11 baskets. 12 baskets. I have taken 12 baskets that did not get finished. Hey, what? 13 baskets, I knew mnani enjoy. It's empty. There were only 12 baskets that were taken up. So, the people were fully satisfied, and how many baskets were left? 12 baskets. Okay, so now it's question time. Did you learn everything that I said? How many baskets were left? Tell someone who is watching next to you. How many disciples did Jesus have? In what city were they? Do you remember the name of the city? It starts with a B. And finally, how many people were fed by Jesus and the disciples? I hope you'll remember this next time. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So now, as we are about to finish, we'll have the memory verse for the day. It comes from the book of John, chapter 6, verse 35. And Jesus declared, I am the bread of life. Whoever comes to me will never be hungry, and whoever obeys me will never be thirsty. Have a blessed day. Have a nice week. Okay. See you next time.
Jesus was one of the most famous people in all of Israel. One day, as he was teaching, thousands of people came to listen, hanging on his every word. He spoke and taught in a way that people could understand. There were people from all social classes. Some were Jews, others were Gentiles. Yet each of them found significance in the wisdom with which he taught. Jesus had a lot to say, and later during the day, the crowds became hungry. Jesus, the people are hungry, his disciples came and told him. You must send the people away to find a place to stay and find something to eat. Jesus looked at the thousands of people. It was a huge crowd. There were 5,000 men, plus women and children. Then Jesus gave a strange order to his disciples. You give them something to eat, he commanded them. The disciples were confused. We don't have any food, and even if we spent all the money we had on food, there still would not be enough. Then Jesus asked them, What food do you have? One of his disciples, Andrew, came up to Jesus with a young boy. This boy has 5 barley loaves and 2 fish, but that is not enough for all these people. Have the people sit down, Jesus instructed. The disciples went to work arranging the people into an orderly seating pattern. The young boy watched as Jesus held up his food and thanked God for it. Suddenly, a miraculous sign occurred. After giving thanks, Jesus started handing out the food. The more he handed out, the more food there was. God was multiplying the 5 barley loaves and 2 fishes to be enough to feed 5,000 people. The crowds were amazed. Once again, Jesus' disciples witnessed firsthand the power of the Son of God. Jesus was constantly illustrating and teaching them valuable lessons that would help strengthen their faith. With God, nothing was impossible. Not even turning 2 fishes and 5 loaves of bread into a 5,000-piece lunch. As the disciples scooped up the leftovers, they filled 12 full baskets. This was an undeniable miracle. Who could have such power? Indeed, this Jesus was the Son of God. That day, thousands more people believed, repented, and put their trust in God.